Hello, hello, Julie Barkus here. And today I want to talk to you about toxic workplaces. And most importantly, from a leadership perspective, how do you know if your workplace is toxic? And I know toxic is such a strong word. And with my current writing of my new book that's going to be coming out, Workplace Detox, we're looking at all different toxins in the workplace and how do we clear these out. And I want to start out by telling you that whether you're a leader or whether you're a team member, you deserve to work in a workplace where you feel good, where you feel happy coming to work. But a lot of times I have clients, even leaders, who feel like they're walking on eggshells throughout the day because they're afraid of how different people are going to be handling different situations, creating more toxicity in the workplace. So, the objective of this quick video training today is to clue you into, is your workplace toxic? And what are some initial steps that you can do to start transforming this for yourself? So, if you're here tuning in, I am broadcasting live on my YouTube channel and on Facebook and on LinkedIn. So, if you're here with me live, feel free to say hello. If you have a question, please feel free to submit it through. I am using StreamYard, so you do have to accept and click on that little link so that I could see your comments and your questions. And if I don't get to things here on this video in this live segment today, I will come back and revisit in the next one. But I have been transforming workplaces for over 20 years. And the owners and the leaders who I work with are people who think about their business as their baby. They think about how it's very much a part of their heart. They gave birth to this thing. And they're also people who need staff in order to bring their vision to life. Not just it would be nice to have staff in place, so I didn't have to work so much, but man, we actually need staff to grow our business. And those are the people that I love working with. A large segment has been my childcare folks for many, many years. And if you're here tuning in, whether you're in childcare or another industry, welcome. And I'm thrilled to have you here and thrilled to shed light on this topic of workplace toxicity, or as I'm writing the book about, detoxing your workplace. And it occurred to me early on in my career in retail and childcare and corporate that there are a lot of toxic people in the workplace, people who just kind of float around spreading the toxicity. And there are a lot of toxic situations in the workplace too that I've survived. And it's really hard to escape it altogether. But what you can do is build your skills in navigating through some of these situations successfully so that you're not bringing more toxicity into the situation. I've also had leaders call me whose businesses collapsed because of toxic things happening, like workplace gossip. One owner called me and said that the sole reason her business went under is because an employee started gossiping. Everybody believed the gossip to be true. And the next thing you know, she's closing her doors to her business because she could not counteract the toxins that were going out into her whole community about what was going on inside of her business. So it's a big thing that we need to deal with and that we need to know how to deal with constructively so that we can put more constructive energy into bringing our vision to life. But man, it can be tough when there are toxins. Now, the question I get asked a lot, and especially with workplace detox, is, well, Julie, how do we know if this is truly a toxic workplace situation? So I'm going to give you a few clues. And again, feel free to post your questions or your comments. And if you're here tuning in, please say hello. I'd love to hear from you, and I do thrive on interaction. Also, if you're tuning in live on YouTube or on LinkedIn, please know that we've got a brand new Facebook group called Leading Workplace Happiness that you're invited to come and join us and to be a part of. Hello. And it's funny, in StreamYard, I could see the hellos and highs, but I can't see who it is. So if you want to share your name with me, feel free to do so. And I will address your name. I'm still like Mrs. Who was it? Romper Room. I'm going to date myself here. For those of you who remember Romper Room, I still love to give shout outs and use people's names because when I'm tuning into things, I'm like, oh, say my name, say my name. Kind of like I was back in, preschool when I'm like, say my name. On Romper Room. Okay. So let's talk. Hello, Giovanna. Nice to see you. All right. So let's talk about toxic workplace. One of the biggest clues that you're going to feel if your workplace is toxic is your own thoughts. And this is something that I encourage you to pay attention to because there could be a lot of external situations happening, whether it's gossip, negativity, I'm giving you hints here, drama, blaming, complaining, all those kind of things. Yes, they are toxic. And those are things that are happening that are outside of yourself that you're just sitting back going, how do we make this stop? And we'll talk about those. And like I said, if you have a question, submit it through. But this was one of my big areas of study, especially when I was working in the corporate world. And it was like there was execution style firings, there was constant right sizing and downsizing. And in 8 years, I had over 12 different supervisors because of the constant change that was going on. And you felt that toxicity weigh on you as an employee and as a manager like a ton of bricks. But one of the first things I want you to pay attention to is your own thoughts about situations that are going on. So if you're a leader and there are toxic situations flowing around about you, think about the thoughts that you think and the thoughts that you hang on to and the thoughts that keep you up at midnight, the things that you're thinking about. Because that to me is one of the first signs that your workplace is toxic. When you can't leave or shake off what's going on in the workplace and you end up bringing that home with you and it ends up haunting your thoughts, that really takes away from you being as positive and productive and constructive in the workplace as possible and leaves you defaulting to a toxic way of thinking. And perhaps it's Monday, you think about, or Sunday evening, you start thinking about who's going to be calling out for work. Perhaps it's about a staff meeting that's coming up and you're thinking, oh, I don't even want to go to this thing. And then I've got all these staff members who are making up excuses not to come. Those are all big signs that your workplace is toxic and that there are things that we need to clear out. So pay attention to your own thought process when it comes to what's going on in the workplace. And are your thoughts mostly positive and constructive, or are your thoughts repetitively thinking about negative situations, negative people, and is that impacting your life personally? If that is, that's where we have to really take a step back and say, all right, Julie, how do we change this? How do we shift this so that we could start operating on a whole different plane of existence? And once you become aware that, yeah, hey, I do need to detox my workplace, that's when you could start putting your constructive plan of action. And I've got a very specific formula for doing this to quickly transform your workplace. And I've seen workplaces transform or really put a big dent in it in a matter of weeks. And then we continue the process from there. So it doesn't have to be something that's this huge, long, drawn out process to detoxifying your workplace. It takes time, but you could start seeing some initial results pretty quick. So, the first component is to pay attention to your own thoughts. And if you know you have thoughts that are toxic or that are taking away from you being productive, give me an oh, yeah, that's me in the comments. And I'll see that come through on StreamYard. I really thrive on interaction. And I want to provide you value with each one of these trainings that I do. So, I want it to be relatable to you. Now, the second thing you want to look for with toxicity is when staff are given the opportunity to give you feedback, do they do so? Or do you find that there's what I call the silency conspiracy happening? So, the first part of this is to pay attention to your own thoughts, right? Your own negativity, the toxicity that's going on inside of your own head. That's a huge sign that we need to start detoxing. We need to start clearing things out. And many leaders start bringing things in before they start getting rid of the negative things that are causing the toxic environment. And that could be a topic for another video. But before you start thinking, oh, I need to bring in chocolate donuts, or I need to pay everybody more, I need to do this, or I need to do that, start thinking about, oh, what do I need to clear out? So the second category here that I'm talking about is really the silency conspiracy. And this is where staff members, when given the opportunity to give you feedback, they don't. Instead, they're silent, or you might see them huddled in the corner talking amongst themselves during a break. So let's say at a staff meeting, you open up the floor and say, all right, everybody, I'd really like to get your feedback about this, about what's going on, how we could change things, how we can make it better. And everybody looks down or at their agenda or around the room, and nobody says anything. Typically, silence is an indicator that there is a deeper issue that needs to be discussed, that needs to be worked on. But a lot of times we ignore that critical sign and we brush over it and said, oh, I brought this up. Nobody said anything. They must be good with it. It is far from the truth. The truth is that nobody is saying anything for several different reasons. They might be afraid that there's going to be backlash. They might be afraid of what's going to be said about them if they do speak up. They might be thinking, what difference is it going to make anyway? Because nothing ever changes. So there's a whole number of reasons why staff retreat into a silent mode. And what we want to do is dig deep to find out, well, why is it that they're being silent when they're given the opportunity to give feedback? That would be another component of a workplace being toxic. And there are many things. And actually, through my research, I found about 30 different things that really cause toxicity to explode in the workplace. So we have our own thoughts, and then we have, oh, are staff speaking up or are they being silent? So that would be the second component. Does anybody relate to that one? If you do, give me an oh yeah, number two for our second component. So are you dealing with the silency conspiracy in your workplace where you give people the opportunity to give their feedback, but you hear crickets? You hear nothing. Now, another component that you really want to look at when it comes to is your workplace toxic is to the problems that your staff are bringing to you. If the problems primarily consist of staff members coming to you and say, hey, Sally did this and she did this, or John did this or said this about this person, if the problems that are being brought to you are primarily about other team members and team members are going behind their back to bring those issues to you, that is a clear sign that there is toxicity in your workplace and that needs to be cleaned out. That needs to be detoxed. And this is typically happening. They're bringing these things to you a lot of times because they don't possess the skills or the confidence to work those problems out directly. Another component of that is that even if they do possess the skills or even if they do possess the confidence, it might just be because of what's being modeled in your organization from the top down. So if you're the leader of an organization and you don't like to confront people, you don't like to have those one-on-one conversations that are tough to have, guess what message we're sending to our entire team about that direct and open communication? We're letting them know that it's not a positive thing, that it's not something we like to do, it's not something that we do well, we avoid it, so team members are going to avoid it as well. In addition to that, sometimes team members just don't know how to resolve conflicts or where do they do it? How do they do it? Where do they meet? When do they get together? What's the process that they go through? So they really don't know. So think, does category number 3 apply to you, where the problems that are being brought to you are about other people, what they said, what they're doing, what they're not doing, and people coming to you hoping that somehow in confidence you're going to resolve these magically and be able to wave your wand and go, poof, okay, all those issues have dissipated. But instead, you might not know what to do. And you might say, okay, I'll take care of this. I'll have a conversation with her. I'll talk to her, whatever it might be. And then the same issue surfaces, which is a whole other component in itself, where there are unresolved issues. So this could be labeled as category number 4 here. There are all kinds of issues that linger for months and months and months and months, and sometimes years. And I've been in workplace mediations where somebody gets really ticked off at somebody else because there's an issue that they had with them 5 years ago that was never resolved. And especially for women, this becomes a really tough thing to where we hang on, we hang on, we hang on, we hang on. And not only are our actions in the workplace toxic, but it's also our thoughts about certain people we work with, about certain situations that we're going to be coming across. So, as a leader, you have to really recognize, are my staff members bringing higher level problems to me? Or are they really still in the lower level problem zone where they're talking about this person, and hoping that there's going to be a magical resolution? And toxicity, am I talking about certain staff members who aren't doing certain things? Am I venting and complaining and gossiping? So keep that in mind, because if your team perceives you as a part of the gossip, not only will they see that as the protocol for how they're going to be behaving in the workplace, but they're also going to be going, oh, I wonder what she's saying about me behind my back when I'm not present. So, really be careful of that as one of the categories of workplace toxicity. So, silency conspiracy, the level of problems, unresolved issues, and your own toxic thoughts about situations that may transpire. Another component that we'll look at on this little segment here is teamwork. When you look at your team, do you feel that there's a division? Or do you feel that there is unity? If you feel that there is a division amongst team members, that is a clear sign that there is detoxing that needs to be had. So you may see team members who aren't doing their fair share of the work, team members who are, again, gossiping, team members who are rolling their eyes at each other using negative body language, team members who don't come to you and say, hey, I've got a clean plate, I got this done, what else can I do to up level my performance? So if there is no teamwork, or a very, very scarce teamwork, people are not doing or not doing more than their fair share of the work, think about that being a toxic environment. There's something that we need to change so that we can get everybody on board, rowing in the same direction towards this big, amazing vision that we want to bring to life. Another sign of toxicity in the workplace, and you've got to get really honest with yourself about a lot of these. But when it comes to bringing new team members on, you've got to ask yourself the question, you ready for this one? If you're ready, give me an oh yeah, ready. Give that to me in the comments, because this one's big. And these are all big. But is your workplace toxic? Here's the question that I want you to think about. When it comes to hiring staff and bringing on new team members, do you hire anyone? So, are you settling when it comes to bringing new team members on board? And are you doing this because you're fearful or feeling desperate that there's no good team members out there? So, I want to let you know that when you are settling and when you are bringing on anybody basically who passes the mirror test, which means that they're breathing, they fog up the mirror, right? When you bring on these kind of people and you're not doing your due diligence with the interview process, with your orientation process, or even just in believing in the staff who you're hiring, your whole team is going to be going downhill and making up for what this new team member is lacking. And you may see your incredible performers start performing mediocre or even poorly or even in a toxic fashion when we just hire anybody, when you just bring anybody in, because you need that live person in place. But it is going to deplete morale and bring a lot more toxic feelings, toxic thoughts, and toxic behaviors into your workplace. So these are several different categories of toxicity in the workplace. And I hope that you found at least one that you can relate to, and one that you will take and run with and work to eliminate. But the biggest one is what's going on inside of your own mind and your mindset in terms of the people that you have in place and the way that you want to have people in place so that you can bring your big vision to life. Right now, if you look at situations with your eyes, you will see clearly that there is lack. You will see clearly that everybody is hiring. You will see clearly that every workplace is struggling, or most every workplace is struggling and having difficulties and having issues. But there's a whole other side of the equation. And that is the side that you engage your active imagination with to really build the team that you want. And I was told once that we create two realities, and I totally buy into this. The first reality is what we see with our eyes, and the second reality is what we're creating inside of our head. And if you want to see something different with your eyes, here's the secret. You've got to start creating something different inside of your head, inside of your imagination first, because that's where creation starts, is inside of your mind with your own thoughts about what you believe is possible. And I have seen leaders transform, clients of mine transform their workplaces where people are just coming in off of the street, amazing people to work for them. They're hoping and praying that that leader has a position open. And that's what I want for you. I want to take you with me to a land of infinite possibilities when it comes to the people that you want to hire and how you want your workplace to be. And I'm here today, one reason with this training video, to let you know that what you desire is possible. But you have to get really clear on what it is that you desire. And number two, you have to believe with a dogged determination that what you desire can come to life, right? But most of the time, we are spending our time thinking about what it is that we don't want. We don't want gossip. We don't want negativity. We don't want to feel negatively about the team members we have in place. We don't want to lose somebody else. We don't want to hire somebody who's unskilled. We don't want to feel less than when it comes to running our business. We don't want. And our list can go on and on and on and on and on. Do you have any don't wants? If you do, put a don't want in the comment. We have a whole list of don't wants. What we want to do to shift this and start shifting this is start changing it to getting clear on what you desire by simply writing down what it is that you do want. I do want a dynamic, motivated team. I do want team members who work together to resolve issues positively and directly. I do want to end the day feeling energized, looking forward to returning the next day. So keep working on your list of what you do want. And the more you focus on that list of do wants, the more you're going to be attracting those things into your life. Did you get something good from today's little mini training segment here? If you did, give me a oh yeah in the comments. And if you have a question, perfect time to ask one as well. And if I don't get to it in this video, I will make sure that I answer it either in the comments of whichever platform you're tuning in from or in a future video. And we are broadcasting live in our new Leading Workplace Happiness group on Facebook. Please come and join us. Also on my YouTube channel, as well as LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So we're broadcasting live in those three places, and I will come back and look for comments. But pay attention to the toxicities that are in your workplace, and then start thinking about what you do want. And then we're going to start working on your plan of action to start transforming the things you don't want into the things that you do want. But I want to be clear in this training video is that it's going to start with your mindset and your ability to create and open up your mind to the infinite possibilities of what you can create. And that's why I believe that we're here on this planet in this lifetime to create, to bring our dreams to life, to bring our vision to life. And this is what you are 100% capable of doing. So regardless of how toxic your workplace is, the opposite is totally true for you, where you can eliminate drama, negativity, gossip, blaming, complaining. And you can step in to a much dreamier place that allows you to experience team members who are doing more than their fair share of the work, allowing you to create a life of freedom and abundance and prosperity for you. So if you think about your workplace and is my workplace toxic, first start thinking about your own thoughts. And are they toxic in and of themselves to turning your dream into your reality? I'm Julie Barkus. It's been a pleasure being here with you today. Please leave me a comment or a question. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Come join our Leading Happiness or Workplace Happiness group. And also, we're putting together a little scorecard for you to help you determine if you're ready to hire your next employee. So it's just about done. And it contains 37 questions that are like gold when it comes to understanding is am I ready to hire this person? So it's an evaluation thing. And if you want access to the Are You Ready to Hire scorecard, put down scorecard in the comments and we'll be sure to follow up with you as soon as that is ready. But again, it's just going to let you know that you're 50% ready, you're 80% ready, yep, 100% ready, go for this person, or nope, 20%. There's more things that you need to do to make sure that this person that you're thinking about hiring is truly going to be one of your dream team members. All right, awesome. Glad to hear this was perfect timing for this video. We will get you that scorecard. It's almost ready. I'm really excited. But like I said, in the meantime, I'm on YouTube. Come to our new channel about leading workplace happiness, Facebook, and LinkedIn. All right, I will see you soon. If you've got questions, whether you're tuning in live or to the replay, please listen for me. And I'll see you back next week on our next live Q&A, if not before. I'm Julie Barkus. I'm dedicating to helping you create or attract, hire, and retain the team of your dreams and really falling back in love with your business and your life. I'll see you soon. Bye.